Oh, okay. You all set? All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call to order the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate hearing. It is October 2nd. It is 9 o'clock. My name is Amity Barnard. I'm the Special Magistrate for today's hearing. First thing I'm going to do is swear anybody in who's here to testify, including city staff. So if you're here for a code enforcement matter, if you could stand and raise your right hands for me if you're able. Thank you. Everybody here, raise your right hands for me. Do you all swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. A little bit about process. Most of the cases are violation hearings. When you hear your case called, the city code enforcement officer is going to come to the podium here down on my left. The city's going to put on its case first, present any evidence that it has, any witnesses that it has. Once the city is finished, you're going to come to the podium that's down on the right here. You'll get then an opportunity to present any evidence you have, any documents you have, cross-examine any witnesses that the city has put on, and at the end of the back and forth, I will make a final ruling, and you'll get an order that reflects that ruling either as you walk out the door today or in the mail after the hearing. With that, keep in mind that all your testimony is given under oath, and with that, I'll turn it to the city to call its first case. Just a minute.
Case 22 CE 240-72274, 618 Clear Lake Avenue.
Give me a break. Okay. Good morning, Code Enforcement Officer, Officer Luster. The property was posted on Ann City Hall on 9/16/2024. The property was cited for condition of structure, replacement of roof is the reason, and clean and sanitary conditions, and that is cleaning of driveway and sidewalk. I have had conversations with the property owner's daughter, and we've come to the conclusion it's a big roof. They're going through a program to get the roof replaced, and so I'm asking for 6 months or $50 per day if not complied. And all of the pictures were taken by myself and verified by myself.
And you believe 6 months is a reasonable time?
I'm hoping. If it's anything come up and it's not making the 6 months, because certain roofing materials does take some time to come in, and tile is one of them. So if it falls, getting close to that particular date and they're not in compliance, I'm asking that they can able to come and get an extension.
Okay. Nothing further at this time. Special Magistrate?
All right, let me just take a look. Could you just give me a moment to look through the documents that they're scrolling through on the screen. If you could look at those as well while they're being put up on the screen. And then I'll hear from you, ma'am. Okay. Okay, posting picture. What's your name, ma'am?
Tanya Burke.
Tanya Burke. And your relation to the property owner?
I'm his daughter and his POA.
Okay, thank you. So you've heard what the city is saying. They're saying that you're, I guess, in process of getting a new roof, working on it.
Yeah, I did have a question about the 6 month, and I think I heard something about $50 a day. What does that mean?
So what they're asking me to give you is 6 months to come into compliance with the code sections that you're being cited for. If you don't come into compliance within those 6 months, so on the 181st day, the fine of $50 would start running. So you wouldn't be fined for the entire 6 month period. The fine would only start running if you don't comply within those 6 months. But the code enforcement officer has indicated that if there's something that causes you delay, keep in touch with them, and there's a way that you can get an extension if it's something that's beyond your control to get done in the 6 months. Does that answer your question?
I think so. That would start. Would that be after April 2nd?
No, what she's saying is if you all see where you're running into some problems
Mm-hmm.
in regards to replacing of the roof,
Mm-hmm.
get in contact with me, and then we'll ask for an extension of time. So
Oh,
it can
okay.
not affect the actual April 2nd date
Oh, okay,
for compliance.
okay.
Okay?
So
So-
let me ask you, ma'am, do you have any objection to the documents that are on the screen, to the notice documents that the city has provided for today's hearing and the photographs? Any objection to those documents being entered into the record?
I don't know if I have an objection. I would like an opportunity to kind of explain how we got here.
Go ahead. This is your chance for that. Go ahead.
So this tarp was put on the property last October when we filed an insurance claim.
Mm-hmm.
That process took way longer than we thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, we were able to get a favorable outcome, but in sequence with that, because my father we moved into this house when I was 2, so it's a very old house. He's older. I'm his caregiver, and so I also manage all of his affairs. So to try to stretch dollars, if you will, we got into a program, and it's called the Safe Florida Safe, something like that. But that particular program out of the CFO's office of the state has its own timeline. So we are now in that, which is why the tarp is still on. And Valerie and I did have a couple of emails that went back and forth since we got the violation, letting her know that the near-term solution is a repair with the contractor, and then longer-term is to get a re-roof.
Okay.
Knowing that there are lead times with the type of material that I believe that my father would want, which is
Okay.
to replace exactly what's on there now.
Okay, so she has, let me just make sure the code enforcement officer is in agreement. She has an opportunity to make some repair so that the tarp comes off in the shorter term as well?
Yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So 6 months should be plenty of time to proceed in that manner. Would you agree with that?
I believe so. I mean, I'm not an expert in that field, but If it's not, I'll make sure that we keep the line of communication open so we can just level set expectations.
That's the most important thing. Keep the code enforcement officer up to date with where you are, so that if you do need additional time, that can be accommodated. Anything else you'd like me to hear this morning?
No, I think that's it. We're pretty clear on the driveway.
Okay. Yeah, that one should be a pretty quick one, right? In terms of repair.
You should be. In theory, yes.
Everything is quick in theory, right? Okay, anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, in case CE 2407-2274, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which included the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file, that the respondent's in violation of sections 18106 and 18103B, and I'll give the respondent 6 months to comply with those code sections, or a fine of $50 a day will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter. So she'll give you an order that reflects that, and just keep in touch with the code enforcement officer as you proceed, okay?
Okay,
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
thank you. Do I come to you? Oh, okay, all right, thanks.
Case number CE 24072-385, case address 1108 23rd Street.
What number, please?
Case number 1.
Thank you.
Good morning, Donald Lattimore, currently employed with the City of West Palm Beach as Code Enforcement Officer. I was contacted via phone regarding outdoor storage, unpermitted work, and plumbing issues, in particular leaks and clogs, at the address 1108 23rd Street by the tenant. I initiated my investigation on July 24th, 2024 at the property located at 1108 23rd Street. This property at the time was occupied. There I observed the following violations: 18103B, condition of the structure, in particular the exterior roof; 18103C, condition of the structure, ceiling of the floor and baseboards, toilet in the bathroom; 18103E, condition of the structure, repairing the windows and doors; 18103G, condition of the structure, unclogging the tub and sealing of the kitchen pipes that were showing signs of leakage, 94-71-C, outdoor storage; 18-103-I, condition of the structure, the smoke alarm was not working; 18106K, landscape maintenance; 18-95-A, electrical, in particular some of the outlets did not have the fixture and covering required to protect them; and then 34102A, junk and abandoned vehicle. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and knowing of this notice of this hearing date. The notice of violation was noticed by certified mail and regular mail on August 1st, 2024 by the city's clerk. I posted the notice of violation at the property and city hall on August 1st, 2024. I also completed the affidavit of posting on August 1st, 2024, and it is in the case file. I revisited the property on September 20th, 2024, and observed the property not to be in compliance with all of the code sections referenced earlier. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. The following photographs show the violations still exist on the property. I was not able to enter the inside of the home to take photos of those violations. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violation I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present, and I have not made contact with the property owner. However, I have made contact with the property owner's parents, who also manage the property, and they are both here today. During our last conversation on 9/25/2024, Ms. Shari, she expressed the inability to comply any of the code violations due to a conflict with the tenant. She was unable to gain access to the home in an ongoing eviction silver case that was taking place. As of October 1st, 2024, the tenant is no longer in the home. I reminded Ms. Shari of this magistrate hearing today and the next steps, including the city asks for additional time to comply the remaining code violations. With that being said, the city is asking for 270 days to comply, which is equivalent to 9 months. If no compliance, a daily fine of $200 until compliance is achieved. Nothing further.
Thank you, Officer Lattimore. Do you believe that 9 months is a reasonable time to get the property into compliance?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And the property managers are in agreement with that 9 months?
I spoke with them earlier today, and they brought some news to my attention, so they may request additional time. Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're requesting that the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, as well as the photographs be admitted as evidence into the record, barring any objections.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Your names for the record? Good morning.
Sherry Gordon.
And your name, sir?
Jonathan Edwards.
Okay. And your relation to the property owner?
That's our son.
Okay, your parents, okay. So you've heard what the city is saying. They're asking me to give you 9 months. It sounds like you may have an additional ask, so go ahead and explain to me what's going on.
Yes, I do agree what he said, but I would like to ask for additional time if it's permitted, only because my husband right now has a lot of health issues. I don't want to get into too much, but he has a lot of health issues going on right now. So if we are allowed a little more time, I really would appreciate that so we can take care of these matters.
Okay, is what the code enforcement officer said, is that accurate that the tenant is gone as of yesterday?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
She's been evicted.
And no new tenant will be coming in?
No.
Okay. And do you understand what you need to do to get into compliance? It looks like there's quite a bit going on, but you understand
I
everything?
have a lot going on right now there.
Okay. Okay. What's the city's response to her request for a little bit more time?
I'm sorry, what was the ask for additional time? How much?
I did specify, I said if we are allowed more time, so can we go maybe 9 months to a year if possible? I don't know what the time frame would be.
I'm okay with the additional acts. I do know of some of the medical concerns that's going on that they expressed to me, but they did not want to mention it out on record. I also know that the building department also has a case that's open as well due to the fire department having to respond and secure the structure. In
Okay.
addition, that there's going to be some permits that they have to grab as well. So I'm okay with the additional time. The city is okay.
Okay, so
excuse
12
me.
months.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't mind giving you the additional time. The only thing I would caution you on is that because it's so much time, just make sure you are diligent in getting the work
Of
done,
course.
right? So the longer you get, the more likely other things come up and life happens. So I'm happy to give that to you because I understand it looks like from the photographs, there's quite a bit to be done to bring you into compliance. But that said, make sure you keep in touch with the code enforcement officer if anything comes up that becomes a problem for you. Anything else, ma'am?
Special Magistrate, if I may.
Go ahead.
Just to reiterate or put on the record, is it your contention not to have the property occupied by tenants until it's been in compliance?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let me ask you, you've seen the documents that have been scrolling on the screen. They're the notice documents for today's hearing and the photographs. Do you have any objection to those documents being entered into the record?
No,
Okay. Anything further that you'd like me to hear?
no, thank you.
Okay, anything further from the city?
No.
Nothing.
Okay. All right, with that, in case CE 2407-2385, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which included affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 18103B, 18106K, 34102A, 18103G, 9471C, 18103I, 1895A, 18103C, and 18103E. I'll require respondents to comply with all of those code sections within 12 months, or a $200 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter. So, as I said before, just make sure you're diligent about getting that done. There should be plenty of time for you, but make sure you're totally complied. And the most important thing for not only your case, but everybody else's case who's here today, when you are in full compliance, make sure that the code enforcement officer understands that, so he can come do it at final inspections and close out your code enforcement case, okay? Okay, best of luck to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 2, case CE 24041851, case address 509 Clematis Street.
Good morning. Jay Francis, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance, filling in for former officer Alex Oliver. 509 Clematis was cited on 4/22/24. Certified and regular mail was sent on 4/23/24. The notice was hand-delivered on 4/23/24 as well by Officer Alex Oliver. I have not been in contact with the property owner personally. I'm unaware if Mr. Alex did. The property was cited for no sidewalk seating permit, no parklet permit, and artificial turf on the structure. As of this morning, the artificial turf on the structure, has been complied. All other violations are still pending. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 180 days for the property to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved within this time frame, then the city requests authorization to remove items from the sidewalk or parklet.
A couple things. You stated, do you know who the property owner, or did you say property owner or business owner?
Business owner,
Okay.
I apologize.
Just for the record, Special Magistrate, the property is owned by the city. So,
I apologize. So used to going through.
no, absolutely, 100%. In addition, the photographs that we are looking at or looked at, those are photographs were taken by yourself?
No, those were taken by Officer Oliver. I did visit the
Okay.
property to observe if those photographs depicted what the violations were.
And they
did.
do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, excellent. And the gentleman across from us, you've spoken with him?
Yes, I spoke to him this morning. He's a representative of the company.
Okay, and is he agreeable to the 6 months and if non-compliance, removal of the furniture?
Yes, as they've gone through the process of actually applying for the permits already and just in waiting.
Do you know when the permits were applied for?
September. I think it's 9/20. I can't remember the exact
Okay.
date.
And you believe 6 months is a reasonable time,
Yes, ma'am.
correct?
After speaking with a representative of planning and zoning, 6 months should be sufficient time.
Thank you. At this time, Special Magistrate, we're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, the photographs be taken into evidence, into the record, barring any objections.
Okay, I see here in 18215B, I think this is the first one of these I've had, but it authorizes the city to correct the violation in the event of noncompliance. So there's no fine, right? Corrective action
No,
is just
no.
remove if they
Yes.
don't get the permits?
That is correct, Special Magistrate. In addition, the code provides for regulation of sidewalk cafes and
Sure.
Parking permits. Parklets?
Parklets, so-
Parklets permits, so.
That's a new term for me as well.
I know.
park- yeah. Okay,
Which
good morning,
provides for
sir.
removal of the furniture.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Your name?
Mitch Amir.
And your relation to you're a representative of the tenant,
On
is that
behalf,
correct?
yeah, on behalf
Okay.
of the Subculture Coffee Shop, yeah.
Okay. All right, you've heard what the city is saying. They're saying that they've spoken with you and you're
Correct.
in general agreement with the
Yeah.
6-month timeframe? You think you
Yeah,
can get all this done?
the permit's already in. We already passed even step 1 in the parklet application.
Okay.
It gets 2 steps. Step 2 already been applied to for it, and Claudia has all the documents right now for already submitted. The right of way also for the sidewalk cafe permit already been submitted to, and it's actually pending review too. So now.
Okay.
I mean, I don't expect that there's anything pending, so 6 months should.
That should be more than enough time.
And if anything, we always can,
Temporarily move the stuff out, right?
Yeah, I was worried more about if any documents that would need to be submitted. I would just make sure that it gets submitted on time.
Okay. Let me ask the city, I mean, 6 months seems to me to be more than enough time, but what's the typical turnaround on these types of permits? I would assume it's a matter of weeks, depending on the condition of the application?
I am not sure. It do depends on the application.
Okay, when you have a full submittal,
Yes.
okay. But you believe 6 months is a
Yes,
reasonable
it's
time to?
sufficient time since he
Okay.
already started the process.
Okay. And I guess, sir, the same thing I told the previous folks that were here, make sure you keep in touch with the code enforcement officer, because I expect you're in a little bit of a different process in the application review. So if anything comes up that he needs to be aware of,
Sure.
make sure you communicate with
Sure.
him. One final thing, the documents have been scrolling on the screen on both sides of me. Do you have any objection to the notice documents and the photographs, all the documents that have scrolled on the screen, those being entered into the record?
Yeah, I'm good. I
Okay.
mean, it's there every day.
Okay. Anything else you'd like me to hear, sir?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Anything further from the city?
Oh, ma'am, thank you.
All right, in case CE 24041851, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the certified mail having been signed for, as well as the additional notice documents in the case file, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the evidentiary case file and the testimony of the code officer that the respondent is in violation of section 78-342A, 78-1, 78-492, and 18-215B. And code officer, just so I'm correct, 94-4453 complied, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll require respondents to comply with those listed code sections within 180 days. In the event of noncompliance, section 18-215B authorizes the city to remove the materials that violate their code after that 180-day period. So just make sure you keep in touch with the city. 6 months should be more than enough time, but best of luck to you,
Yeah.
okay?
The second, the part for the parklet, the site cafe permit. It was already there was a permit for it's just a renewal. So
That's quick. Yeah. The 6 months is more than enough time, even if it wasn't a renewal, but you should be totally fine on time.
Okay, we're good. Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Just 1 second, Special Magistrate. Is it a renewal of a permit? Is there an existing permit? My understanding was the cafe is operating without a permit. Was there an initial permit of application
There
and
is,
approval?
and it's just a renewal. So the deadline was, I believe, September 30th. So we submitted before, and it's just a matter of approving, because now with the system of the EPL, the online system had to go through a whole new application. So we did a whole new application, and it's just a renewal.
Okay, do you mind sending us a copy of the permit? You should have the permit. Do you mind sending the code officer a copy of the permit?
I can send it, yeah. And one stop, I can open up one stop and figure it out. And
Okay, thank you. Yeah, sure, absolutely.
But we
Thank
good.
you so much.
All right?
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Case number 16, CE 240-72252, case address 640 58th Street.
City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited July 10th. Certified mail was sent July 10th. Certified mail was received August 28th. City Hall was posted July 11th. This property was cited for excessive growth, 18-106B, unpaved parking, 94-482-A, garbage can placement, 74-34A-1H, landscape, sodding of landscape area, 94-442C-1, trash and debris, 18-106A. As of yesterday, the only compliant violations were trash and debris, 18-106A. I revisited the property on yesterday. I took all the photographs. I've had correspondence with the homeowner this morning in reference to the things that are needed to be done. He also advised them that there was no unpaved parking allowed in the city. I did see that he has an open permit for a parking area inside of the system still going on, so I didn't cite him for that. But I did advise him that there's on-curb street parking and that he should park his vehicles there. He's aware of those things that the city is requesting in reference to that, but for his property, I'm requesting additional 30 days at $100 per day after, excluding the permit, which, I didn't cite him for because that was ongoing with the city.
And you believe 30 days is a reasonable amount of time?
Yes, and that will solely be for parking on curbside, just cutting the grass, which has been growing a lot more now. Garbage can placement, which he does have a remedy for that, and the landscape areas of grass, excluding from where he's going to have the new driveway. So it'll just be on the left side where the tree was cut down.
Okay, great. And the property owner is in agreement with the 30 days?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
right here.
And the photographs truthfully and accurately depict the violations we're discussing today?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm asking.
Yes, that is.
But thank you for your confirmation. At this point, Special Magistrate, we're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, and the photographs to be admitted into evidence, barring any objections. For the record, please.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Good morning. David Alvis.
Okay. Your last name?
Alvis, A-L-V-I-S.
What's your relation?
I have two last names. Alvis Rendon is,
That's you?
yeah.
Okay, so this is you, David Rendon
Yes, ma'am.
is you as well, okay. Okay, so you've heard what the city is saying. It sounds like you have already a permit in, so you're working on the, I guess, a driveway extension or something.
Yeah.
Do you understand what you need to do to comply with the remaining code sections that you were cited for today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're in agreement, I heard you say with the 30 days, you can get all this done within the 30 days?
Yeah.
Okay, they seem like pretty easy things
Yeah,
to comply
yes.
with,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Let me ask you, on the documents that have been on the screens on both sides of me, do you have any objection to those documents being entered into the record?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else you'd like me to hear?
No, ma'am.
Okay, easy enough this morning. Anything else from the city?
No.
Okay, with that, in case CE 2407-2252, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the affidavit of posting, as well as the notice documentation in the case file, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file, that the respondent's in violation of sections 18106B, 94482A, 7434A1H, and 94442C1. I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter. Best of luck in getting the things done, and again, same thing you've heard me tell everyone else, if you come up with any issues, make sure you keep in touch with the code enforcement officer, okay?
Well, thank you so
All
much.
right, good luck to you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Case number 3, CE 240-92744, case address 206 Gale Place.
Good morning. Officer Forestier, West Palm Beach Code Compliance. This property was cited on 9/20/24. Certified mail was sent on 9/20/24. Certified mail has not returned. City Hall and property was posted on 9/20/24, and I have had contact with the owner. This property was cited for 94-446-2-B3, hot rack, severe cutting of limbs, and also for 9446-2-C-3, tree abuse, improper cutting and splitting. The city is requesting a $250 fine and a removal of the tree, and the city is requesting an additional 15 days to come into compliance, or $100 a day thereafter.
Great, thank you. And you said you were in contact with the property owner, correct?
Correct.
And are they agreeable to the recommendation of the city's fine and the amount of time to comply?
Yes.
And the 15 days is to completely remove the tree?
Correct.
Are we requesting for the tree to be replaced?
No.
Okay.
It's in a city swell.
Oh, okay, got it.
Mark Joyce, Code Enforcement. Raphael and I spoke with the city's arborist, and they said that the tree is damaged beyond repair and needs to be removed, and it's a swale, and there shouldn't be a tree there anyway, so they don't want it replaced.
Okay, great. Thank you for that being on the record. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're requesting for the case file, the photographs, as well as the code enforcement officer's testimony to be admitted into evidence as the record.
Okay, thank you. And for the record, I think we're done with contested cases, so is the respondent present? Seeing none, we'll note for the record that the respondent is not present. I'll enter in case CE 2409-2744. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent is very clearly in violation of sections 94-446-2C3 and 94-446-2B3. I'll require respondents to comply with those sections by completing removal of the tree within 15 days. And I'll assess a one-time fine of $250 for the violations that I just found.
Case number 4, CE 240-52029, case address 633 33rd Street.
Morning. Jesus Mendiola, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. I discovered the violations on this property on 633 33rd Street on May 14, 2024. The violations I discovered were 18106A, trash and debris on the property, pressure wash, sidewalk and driveway, 74-4-C-5, alleyway maintenance and dead vegetation, 78-6-2, missing rear address characters, 94-302-A-4, repair or replace the fence, 94-446-2-C-3, remove the tree stump in the alleyway. The property was cited on May 22nd, 2024, then was updated and a new notice of violation was sent on July 23rd, 2024. Certified regular mail were sent on May 22nd, 2024, and then a new violation was sent on July 23rd, 2024. Notice of violations were posted at the property in City Hall on July 2nd, 2024, and September 19th, 2024. I completed the affidavit of posting. The photographs taken accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed. I did have contact with the owner, Ms. Stephanie Ebanks. She agreed with 90 days as an extension. She has applied for the permit to repair the fence. The permit is currently in review. As of yesterday, all the violations are still current. The city is asking for 90 days to gain compliance or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
I'm sorry, how much money per day?
100.
100? And you believe 90 days is a reasonable amount of time?
Correct, since she has already applied for the permit.
And that was my next question. Do you know when she applied for the permit?
She applied in September. Right now it's in review. She did have to resubmit a survey, in which she has done, so.
Okay, so she applied in September and answered the request for a survey?
Correct.
Responded to the permitting department's request for the survey? Nothing further at this time, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the case file, the testimony of the code enforcement officers, and the photographs to be admitted as evidence into the record, please.
Okay. In your notice testimony, it sounds like you sent everything in May and then you resent it in July? Is that right?
So originally, there were other violations on the first notice that were complied, but once she cleaned up the alleyway, I saw that the fence was in disrepair and falling down.
Okay, so you added new
So
code to this, okay.
I rescheduled the hearing and the compliance date and added the violations for the fence and for the tree stump.
Okay. And the fence, so there's photographs that have a white sort of picket fence and then there's a wood
Yeah,
brown
that's one's
fence?
on the side and that's the one on the rear. which
Is
was
it-
covered in weeds.
Which one is in which
Uh,
one needs to be
that-
repaired?
that
That,
one.
the brown one there?
Yeah, that one, you weren't able to see the fence originally. It was all covered in weeds, and once, after the first violation
Oh, I
was
see.
sent,
Then you could
she
see the fence and
removed
the
it, then you
condition.
can see the
Okay.
fence that was falling down,
Okay.
and there's still trash and debris in the alleyway that she says is gonna be cleaned up as soon as the fence gets replaced and repaired.
Okay. And is numbering standards still a violation?
Yes.
Okay, and tree abuse, what's the tree abuse?
That, stump has to be removed.
Okay, and she understands that?
Yep.
Okay. Then that's the only tree that was
Yep.
improperly cut, okay. Is there a more recent affidavit of posting in the case file? Maybe I saw the one that was from May, but is there one from July?
Isn't that, it has July on it? Yeah.
There we go, okay, perfect, thank you. Oh, well, you said, I guess, is there from September? You said you posted again on September 19th, right?
Yes, September 19th.
Can I see that affidavit? Maybe that's probably it right there. Yep, okay, perfect. Okay, anything further from the city?
Nope.
Nothing.
All right, for the record, the respondent is not present. In case CE 2405-2029, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, as well as the affidavits of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the code enforcement officer's testimony, that the respondent's in violation of sections 94302A4, 744C5, 7862, 94446 2C3, and 18106A, and I'll require respondents to comply within 90 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you.
Case number 5, CE 240-82599, case address 1302 Florida Avenue.
It is 5. You are on 5.
Number 5, Tom. Florida Avenue.
1302 shows 9 on mine, but that's good.
Sorry.
Good morning, Officer Underwood, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. Property in question at 1302 Florida Avenue was initially cited August 28th, 2024. Certified mail was sent out August 28th, 2024. Both City Hall and property were posted August 29th. Certified mail was returned September 14th. I have not been in contact with the property owner. The property was cited for 74-4-C4, trees and hedges, 74-4-C-5, clean to the center of the joint right-of-way, 18106B, excessive growth, and 7434-A-1-H, which is trash can in public view. The city, as of this morning, the property has not come into compliance, and the city is requesting 20 additional days at $100 a day if the compliance isn't achieved.
I'm sorry, have you been in contact with the property?
I have not been in contact with them. Somebody obviously has been to the property because my notice of violation that was on the front door has been moved,
Okay.
but I have not been in contact with anybody.
And you took the photographs, correct?
That's correct.
And they truthfully and accurately depict the violations being discussed today?
Yes, they do.
Thank you. At this point in time, Special Magistrate, we're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, as well as the photographs to be admitted in evidence as the record.
Okay, thank you. Let me just look at the remaining documents. Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, thank you. In case CE 2408-2599, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs that are in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondents are in violation of section 74-4C4, 74-4C5, 18106B, and 74-34A1H. And I'll require respondents to comply within 20 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter that the violation continues.
Case number 6, CE 240-92697, 2020 South Dixie Highway.
Good morning, Officer Underwood, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. This property, 2020 South Dixie Highway, was initially cited September 11th. Certified mail was sent out September 11th. Both City Hall and property were posted September 11th. Certified mail was returned September 16th. I have been in contact with the property representative, the maintenance property. The property was initially given an email. We spoke on email. We gave them 12 days to cut the grass and do the trees and everything that was cited. Nothing came about of it for 12 days, so we initiated a notice of violation. The notice of violation is as follows. It's a repeat violation, 26-35-B, repeat, 74-4-C5, clean to the center of the right-of-way, 18106B, excessive growth, 18106J, graffiti, 94-442, landscape swale, 18106A, clean the sanitary conditions, and 74-4-C-1. 3 of the violations are repeat, which fall under the 18106B, 18106A, 74-4-C1 are going to be repeat violations from an old cold case in the file of
What were those again? 74-4C1, 18106A, and what was the third one?
74-4-C1, 18106A, and 18106B.
Okay.
And those fall under the old code case CE 230-70151. The other 2 violations are 94-442-E, which is the swale, and 18106J, which is the graffiti. As I said, I was in contact with the property maintenance person. We're going to give them 20 additional days for the non-repeat violations, or $100 a day until they come into compliance. And as for the repeat, we're going to bring the violation back to August 30th, when I initially witnessed or spotted the violation, the repeat, till current, because they're still not in compliance, of $50 a day.
So do you have that total amount?
So for $50 a day from August 30th, it's going to be 32 days, it's going to be $1,600. And continuing on at $50 a day until compliance is achieved.
So 1,600, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, so $1,600 as of today.
Correct.
Incurring $50 daily fine.
Correct, from here on out until compliance is achieved.
What was 74-4C5?
74-4C5 is clean to the center of the right-of-way. So that is the stuff that was overhanging the sidewalk, and on the back side of the property, there's stuff was hanging over top the back wall. Keep going with the pictures.
Is that part of the regular violation? You told me the three.
Correct, yes, correct.
Okay, so 3 of them are regular and 3 of them are
Correct, yeah,
repeat.
that's correct, yep.
Okay. Okay. And what is the property? Is it like a vacant parking lot or
It's a
something?
vacant lot, correct.
Okay.
Yep. As you can see in the pictures. There's still graffiti on the wall right there. There's still hurricane hazard trimming hasn't been done. Yep. The big bush right there in the bottom right corner of the swale is not supposed to be there. And I walked the property with the worker, the representative of the maintenance company, and explained what needed to be done, so he's aware of it. So 20 additional days for most of the remaining stuff should be possible.
Okay.
Which is gonna be all those palm trees right there for the hurricane trimming. The tree that's in the back corner on the left is gonna be trimmed up and cleaned up. And the bush in the front, in the swale's gotta be removed. Grass needs to be cut.
Okay. And what was the graffiti?
So if you go back to where the brick wall was, the picture? No, it's in all of them, but yeah, just scroll down. Keep scrolling, keep going. Right there. So it looks like they originally attempted to try to get rid of it, but,
Oh, I see the orange.
so yeah, there's some orange,
Yeah,
it's not really, I wouldn't call it graffiti, but it's paint or striping or whatever they want, somebody just scribbled all over it. It's much more apparent in person than it is on camera for some reason, but it's there.
I think graffiti is correct, it's just not good graffiti.
There's another picture of the wall, and it goes quite far down the wall.
The writing.
Correct,
Okay.
the graffiti, the
Okay.
scribble, yes.
It's not poetry then.
No.
Okay, anything further from the city?
No.
No special magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, and the photographs be admitted into evidence as the record.
Okay, can I just see the posting affidavit? I think I missed that when you went through it the first time. Perfect, thank you. Okay, in case CE 24092697, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file and the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in repeat violation of sections 2635B, 18106B, 18106A, and 744C1. For those repeat violations, I'll assess a fine in the amount of $1,600 for 32 days of violation at $50 a day. That fine of $1,600 will continue to accrue after today at a rate of $50 per day until compliance is achieved. I'll also find that respondents are in standard or regular violation of sections 744C5, 18106J, and 94442A. And I'll require respondents to comply with those code sections within 20 days, or $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter that the violations continue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 7, CE 240-82542, case address 4001 Heath Circle South.
What number?
Number 7.
7.
Yours are 7.
I can't be flail me like that. Y'all tricked me.
We try.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On 8/14, I observed violations at the property at 4001 Heath Circle South. The violations I observed was tree abuse, tree damage to improper trimming, irreversible. The damage to the tree is already done and cannot be reversed. And hat racking prohibited. The property as well as City Hall was posted September 18th. Certified mail as well as regular mail was sent August 20th. Certified mail was returned September 19th. However, I have been in contact with the property management of this property. We did have a conversation on the location of the tree. It will need to come down and be replaced. With the irreversible, city's requesting a one-time fine of $250 and replacement of the tree. City's requesting 60 days to replace that tree with a Florida native tree anywhere else on the property. If that is not done within the 60 days, city's requesting $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Great, thank you. And you said you spoke with the property management, and they're in agreement with the 60 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you believe that's a reasonable time, correct?
Yes, I was hoping it would be done by Monday because she assured me it would, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. Empty promises, right?
That's what you get.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the photographs, as well as the case file to be admitted as evidence into the record, please.
Okay. On the replacement, just one question for the city. Does the code require replacement with a Florida native, or do you need that specified in the order? Is that
I need that specified in the order because it is a requirement, because it defeats the purpose if they plant something that's not allowed, then they're just gonna have to take it right back down.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted stated in the order as well.
Okay. Okay, anything further?
Nothing, Special Magistrate.
All right, in case CE 24082542, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file, that the respondent's in violation of sections 94-446-2C, 2635B, and 94-446-2B3 for the hat-racked tree and abused tree that's depicted in the photographs. For the irreparable violation, which is 2635B, I'll assess a one-time fine in the amount of $250. For the remaining code sections, I'll require the respondent to comply with those code sections by replacing the tree with the Florida native tree within 60 days. Failure to complete that replacement within that time frame, I'll assess a $100 a day fine for each day that the violation continues thereafter.
Case number 8, CE 240-82518, 2101 21st Way.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On August 14th, the property at 2101 21st Way was cited for rental license violation and certificate of use. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted September 18th. Certified mail as well as regular mail was sent August 15th. Certified mail was signed for September 27th. However, I have not been in contact with the property owner. I've made several attempts. We did conduct an inspection of the property for rental. On that time, the property did fail the inspection. And this was months ago, prompting me to issue the notice of violation. I've made phone calls, emails to the owner. She has always been a hard person to get in contact with. I've done several inspections for this owner, which I can't fathom why I can't seem to make contact with this in particular owner. At the time of posting, I did observe that the property is occupied. There's several items out on the porch, and I did hear a dog barking within the residence. With that being said, city's recommending 30 days to bring the property into compliance, or $200 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. And you were able to speak with the renters?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is this a renewal for a rental license?
No, ma'am. This is an actual inspection that never passed.
Okay.
And I've been working like a Dickens to get it done, but the owner refuses to make contact with me. I don't know what else to try to do to get her attention. Usually a notice gets her attention, because I've cited her in the past for these type of reasons. She submits applications and walk away from them. So I have cited her in the past, and usually I get action out of her when I send her a notice, but for some reason this one can't, and I think it has to do because of the reason why the inspection failed. She's gonna need some permits. And I did follow up with that portion of it. She has not submitted anything since the inspection failed. I outlined everything to her at the time of inspection, what needed to be done. And I gave her plenty of time to get that done before I initiated the notice of violation. So I don't know if that's why she's ghosting me, is because she can't seem to get a contractor to pull those permits for her. Because these types of violations, that's their biggest plight when it comes to those with the permit violations. A lot of contractors don't want to assume those responsibilities because they did not do the work. But you have some that will, because I've had people comply them. So with that being said, that's why I'm recommending the 30 days. If she requests more time, then I would like to give her the opportunity to come back and ask for additional time if she does need more time to get the permits. Because I do understand that 30 minutes is actually a short window, but I'm taking into consideration the months that this has sat. This has been since April.
Okay. And 30 days you're saying is reasonable, and hopefully she'll make contact during
ma'am.
that time, and you're open to extend the time
Yes, ma'am.
if needed. Okay. Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code officer's testimony to be taken as evidence, as well as the case file and the photographs to be admitted in evidence as the record.
Okay, thank you. And just, I guess, connect the dots for me on how you know it's rented. It looks like it's owned by an LLC, but you said you saw that it was occupied by...
Because I have dealings with this owner.
Okay.
So I do know it's a renter in there.
Okay.
It's not the owner. There's evidence on the porch. As you can see, there's a shady portion there, an umbrella there, and there is an animal inside, so it's occupied.
Okay.
And it's not by the owner. I
Okay.
guarantee that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. In case 24082518, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection, noting for the record that the respondent is not present. I'll find, based on the notice documentation in the case file, which includes the signed certified mailing as well as an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer as well as the documentation in the case file, that the respondent's in violation of sections 2232A and 22441. I'll require respondent to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $200 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Case number 9, CE 240-82563, case address 3504 Briard Bay Boulevard, number 102.
Good morning. City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On August 24th, the property at 3504 Briar Bay Boulevard, Unit 102, was cited for rental license violation and certificate of use. Excuse me. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted September 18th. Certified mail as well as regular mail was sent August 22nd. Certified mail was signed for September 27th. I have been in contact with the property owner. He has since submitted an application for a rental license, but we cannot move forward with the process because there are some items that are missing with the rental application process. The owner is aware and he's working on what is required. It is also requesting additional time to get that done so we can get that done in a timely fashion. With that being said, city's requesting 60 days or $200 a day until compliance is achieved. I just want to explain what we are waiting for to complete this rental license process. The property is owned under a foreign LLC. So the owner will need to register that foreign LLC with Sunbiz, and that process can be lengthy if they're backed up, which this is the case with this one. So I just want to make sure that the property owner has enough time to get that accomplished and get the inspections completed and the rental license issued.
And you believe 60 days is reasonable time?
Yes, it should.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, and photographs to be admitted into evidence as the record, please.
Okay, thank you. And you saw, I guess, that the property is being rented, or the owner admitted to renting it?
I was actually contacted by a potential renter,
Okay.
if you can believe that.
But also, just for my own clarity, the process has started for the rental
Yes,
license.
it has.
So
Yes, it has.
the-
It's just-
The owner
it's
is
just a
admitting
hiccup.
it's right, it's asking
Yeah.
for the renter's license, so.
Okay, with that, in case CE 24082563, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents, which include the signed certified mail as well as the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 22441 and 2232A, and I'll require respondents to comply with those sections within 60 days, or a $200 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Thank you.
Case number 10, CE 24082-487, case address 825 44th Street.
Good morning.
Good
I am
morning.
Kate Weaver, Code Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. While riding through my zone, I observed several violations at 825 44th Street. I took photos of the property which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I then initiated my investigation citing the following violations. The property was cited on August the 12th of 2024 for the following violations: 18103B, condition of structure, which has been complied; 94-302-A-4, fence wall maintenance, which has been complied; 94-487-B-4-A, restricted vehicle storage, which has been complied; 18106B, excessive growth, which has been complied; 94453B, maintenance of non-conforming areas, which is prohibited tree; 94-4462, landscape maintenance; 78-94C, swells and parkways, trash and debris; 18-106A, clean and sanitary, 78-6-2, numbering location, 18-106G, paint and touch-up, 94-445-4-I, prohibited tree, and 94-446-2-C-3, tree abuse. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on September the 19th of 2024. The affidavit of posting was completed on September the 19th of 2024, and a copy was placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on August the 15th of 2024. The certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on October the 1st and observed the property still in violation of all the violations, I would just say, except the four that's not, which would be the 18103B, 94-302-A-4, 18106B, the ones that have been complied, the four. Reinspection photos were taken and showing the remaining violations, and they were uploaded to the case. I have had contact with the property owner, who is requesting an additional 30 days. The city is also requesting the additional 30 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Great, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the photographs taken, as well as the case file to be admitted as evidence into the record, please.
Okay, thank you. What's the prohibited tree?
Let's see where we are. We have, well, there was one right there in front of the gate. I don't know which pictures we're on. I don't know if we're on the initial pictures or, those are the re-inspections. So in the initial pictures, you'll see there was one right there in front of the fence that has been cut down, not all the way down, and then there's also one to the back of the property right there. If you look in the back by the vehicle, there's one there, and they cut it, but they haven't fully taken it down, and then there's also another stump on the left side of the property in the front also. So he's not finished. He asked for the additional 30 days because he said due to the rain and everything, he was unable to complete that process. So that's where that was, a Chevrolet tree.
Is it what? That's what I was after. What is it?
The Chevrolet.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the tree abuse, what was that? Was that one of the trees that they cut down?
Yes, those are the two remaining that were cut but not
Taken all the way down to the
yes,
ground?
ma'am.
Okay, and is there a photograph of the tree abuse?
Let's see, yes. Scroll, let me see. There's one there. See the stump?
Oh, right there, okay.
Yes, that's one,
perfect.
and then there's another on the other side in the back. That's still in the front. That's the same
Okay,
one
there's
on
the
that
same
same
one.
side, but
Yeah,
there's
okay.
another one on the other side. I don't know if these are the original. I know it's showing in the inspection from October the 1st. Because it has some bloom on it. These are all the original ones from the first initial violation. But it's gonna be in the back. Yeah, that's it, but it's been cut, but not all the way taken down. But if the other pictures will show where it's
They basically
just
cut the
stump.
tops off. They cut the green part off.
Well, a little further down, but, okay, scroll, okay, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. And keep going. Keep going. We want to get to the other side of the house, so if you keep going, it's going to be coming up in just a little bit. Right there. Right there. You see the truck? You see, right, yes.
Oh, right there is a
Yes,
bunch
ma'am.
of tree trunk stumps?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and you think 30 days is enough time to get all these, the remaining ones cured?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. In case CE 2408-2487, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documentation in the case file, which includes an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. No findings of fact on the complied sections, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 94-446-2, 94-453-B, 98, 94-C, 94-445-4I, 94-446-2C3, 18-106-A, 78-6-2, 18-106-G, and I'll require respondents to comply with those code sections within 30 days or $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Thank you.
Case number 11, CE 240-82509, 4204 Greenwood Avenue.
Good morning again, Code Officer KT Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While riding through my zone, I observed on August the 13th, 2024, several violations at 4204 Greenwood Avenue. I took photos of the property, which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I then initiated my investigation, citing the following violations: 7894-A, restrictions on planting, which has been complied; 78-94C, swells and parkways, which has been complied; 18106A, clean and sanitary, which has been complied; 18106K, and 94-42-C-1, the landscape maintenance and the planting of sod in the bare areas. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on September the 19th of 2024. The affidavit of posting was completed on September the 19th of 2024, and a copy was placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on August the 17th of 2024, and it was unclaimed. I revisited the property on October the 1st and observed the property still in violation of the 18106K and the 94-442-C-1. Reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations, and they were uploaded to the case. I have had contact with the property owner, who was she was requesting 3 days, but the city is requesting an additional 15 days to gain compliance, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, as well as the photographs to be admitted into evidence as the record, please.
Okay, so the 94-442-C1, that's the areas that are bare in the yard and also in the right of way that need to be grassed, or they need the appropriate cover placed?
It's all, the rest remaining is the front yard itself, is putting grass in the areas, because when I went out to take my photos, since the initial violation, she has had sprinklers put in. So that's where you see the lines from that.
Okay.
But she has to resod the bare areas and then cut the grass.
Oh, I see, that looks like new sod there a little bit, right?
Yeah, the swell has been totally resod, and she put a couple of pieces out, but where they did the trenching for the...
She needs to complete that, and then the landscape maintenance, that needs to be mowed?
Yes.
Like that area there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. All right, in case CE 2408-2509, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documentation in the case file, which includes an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 94-442-C1 and 18-106K, and I'll require respondents to comply within 15 days, or $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter that the violations continue.
Thank you.
Case number 12, CE 240-82480, case address 3830 Eastview Avenue.
Morning again, Code Officer KT Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While riding through my zone, I observed several violations at 3830 Eastview Avenue. I took photos of the property which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I then initiated my investigation on August the 8th of 2024, citing the following violations. 18106B, the condition of structure. 94-442-C-1, landscape areas needing grass inside. 78-94C, swells and parkways. 94-302-A-4, fence and wall maintenance. 94-446-2-B-3, hat racking. 94-71C, outdoor storage. 94-4462B, trimming away from the structure, trees. 18-106A, clean and sanitary and pressure washing. 18-106G, paint and touch-up structure. And yes, the notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on September the 19th of 2024. The affidavit of posting was completed on September the 19th of 2024, and a copy was placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on August the 9th of 2024, and it was returned. I revisited the property on October the 1st and observed the property still in violation of all the violations previously listed. Reinspection photos were taken on October the 1st showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case. I have had contact with the property owner who asked for additional time. The city is requesting an additional 180 days to gain compliance, or $150 a day until compliance is achieved.
And you believe that 180 days is reasonable?
Yes, ma'am, and if not, she was in, we talked and communicated on several times. She was told that if she thinks that she's gonna run into any issues or whatever, to stay in contact to let me know so that we can, do what needs to be done to help her achieve compliance.
Okay, awesome. At this time, nothing further. Special Magistrate, I'm requesting for the case file, the photographs, and the code enforcement officer's testimony to be accepted as evidence as the record, please.
Okay. Most of these are pretty clear. The condition of the structure, what's that?
If we go around to where the cars are parked, the garage side, keep going, we want to get the front side of it, but that's where we're going, that's the wall, keep going. Keep going. I don't know if you pass them or not, right there, that's part there, down there. Keep going, there should be one at the top. Keep going, fascia boards need some repair and touch up once it's being repaired. Right above the area of the garage, that was, keep going.
So there's
right
rotted fascia?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the hat racking, I saw a tree right up close to the house. Was that the only one?
Yes, that's the only tree.
Okay. Okay, and 180 days, that should be plenty of time.
Yes, and if not, she'll
reach out to you.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
very good. All right, in case CE 24, I guess I need to see the affidavit of posting. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I missed it the first time. There we go. Perfect. In case CE 2408-2480, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documentation in the case file, which includes the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 94-442C1, 94-446-2B, 18-106G, 94-302A4, 94-71C, 94-446-2B3, 78-94C, 18-103B, and 18-106A, and I'll require respondents to comply with those code sections within 180 days, or a $150 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations remain thereafter.
Thank you.
Case number 13, CE 240-72236, case address 709 56th Street.
City of West Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited July 9th, Certified mail was sent July 10th. Certified mail was received August 6th. City Hall was posted July 11th. While on patrol, I noticed the following violations: 18-106A, the trash and debris, clean and sanitary; 94-71C, outdoor storage; and 34-102A, junk abandoned vehicle. As of yesterday, all the violations were still observant. They actually moved a junk vehicle from the neighboring house and placed it in their driveway now. I took all the photographs. I have not had any correspondence with any property owners or any management. With this, the city is requesting additional 30 days at $150 per day after.
Thank you. So the property isn't vacant, you're saying, right?
No,
They
this-
just haven't responded to us?
Someone lives there. There's tenants there.
Okay.
But I haven't had any correspondence this time around. I've cited them before for the exact same things. This time around, I haven't heard anything.
Okay. And you took the photographs, correct?
Yes, all of them.
And they truthfully and accurately depict the violations still outstanding?
Yes.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the photographs, the code enforcement officer's testimony, and the case file to be admitted into evidence as the record.
Okay, perfect. I would love to know what moving through the system means at the post office. All right. And was your testimony that somehow after you cited this, they actually made it worse? They brought additional cars to the,
They moved the Civic and brought an SUV instead.
so they're replacing violations, okay.
They traded in?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said you cited them before, but you didn't cite them as repeat on this one? This is just a
No,
standard?
because they complied within the time that was given.
Okay,
so
the old cat and mouse
Yeah, I
car
didn't
game.
get a finding of fact on that one. They were
Okay.
ahead of it.
All right. Anything further from the city?
No, Special Magistrate.
All right, in case CE 24072236, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documentation, which includes the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 18106A, 9471C, and 34102A, and I'll require respondents to comply with those sections within 30 days or face a $150 a day fine for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Case number 14, CE 240-72215, case address 637 59th Street.
City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance, Robert Watkins. This property was cited July the 3rd. Certified mail was sent July 3rd. Certified mail was received July 20th. City Hall was posted July 8th. This property was cited for 18-103H, condition of bathroom, 18-106G, paint, interior, 18-103E, windows, doors, repair, 18-103B, exterior wall, roof repair, making weather tight, 18-102-3, windows screening, 18-95A, electrical plugs, outlets, 18-103G, plumbing fixtures in the bathroom and kitchen, 18-103C, interior wall and flooring interior wall. It was, I guess, took on water and was collapsing. I've had compliant violations, or absolutely none of them. I've had email correspondence with the owner, who yesterday advised me that the tenant was no longer there. There was someone else there now, and someone will be getting in contact with me to do an inspection. I took all the photographs that are being shown. For this, the city is requesting additional 30 days at $200 per day after.
And the owner is okay with the 30 days?
Yes, but she told me it was ready. Due to my pictures, I didn't believe it was ready, but her word it was ready. So I just requested additional 30 days in lieu of whoever going to contact me. If there's something that's small that needs to be done, then it could be repaired.
Okay.
Then for her to say it's for me to say she doesn't need any time, but 5 days, and she really needs more time than that.
So she told you that it was ready and you went and re-inspected?
No, she told me it was ready, but she hasn't given me the person to meet at the unit.
Okay, so you have not been back in to confirm?
No, she
Okay.
emailed me yesterday afternoon, the latest, telling me that she would set something up for probably tomorrow, but like I said, I just want to make sure that if there isn't something that needs to be done, that there was enough time by her. She said she was in North Florida where the hurricane was, and she wasn't able to drive down, so that would have been enough time to communicate back and forth to get whatever it was taken care of.
So did she call to schedule an actual inspection?
Yes, she emailed me for tomorrow, but like I said,
Okay,
I don't
for
want to
tomorrow.
say
Gotcha.
5 days. I'd rather give her more time just in case someone needs to come in and make small repair to something. That 30 days would be enough versus saying that she just need 5 days, and it really may take longer than that.
Okay. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, as well as the photographs to be admitted as evidence into the record, please.
Okay. Was any of the work that needs to be done, does any of it require permits?
No, one of them was a leaking, the elbow in the sink was leaking.
Okay.
The bathroom, it looks just like the toilet may have needed to be replaced or fixed or something of that nature due to how disgusting it looked. The wall just need to be patched up. She say that they fixed the leak in the roof, but to me, it's not fixed until you complete it all in workmanship. So that wasn't done. It's been some time since those tenants have moved out. I have no idea what was done on the interior because I haven't had access to it.
Okay.
So it might have been done in the 2 months, 3 months until today, but like I said, without access to actually see it, I have no idea what was been done on the interior.
Okay. All right, in case CE 2407-2215, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file that include the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the code enforcement officer's testimony that the respondent's in violation of sections 18103H, 18106G, 18103E, 18102.3, 18103B, 1895A, 18103G, and 18103C. And I'll require respondents to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $200 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Case number 15, CE 24072220, case address 718 59th Street.
City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited July the 8th. Certified mail was sent July 8th. Certified mail was received September 25th. City Hall was posted July 9th. This property was cited for 94-302A-4 fence and wall maintenance, 94-71C outdoor storage, 34-102A junk vehicle, 18-106B excessive growth, 94-302A-3 fence permit, and 94-442C-1 sod of bare areas, and 18-106M landscape maintenance. As of yesterday, the only violation that was in compliance was 34-102A, the junk vehicle. I've had no correspondence with the property owner. I did see them today for another case that another code officer had with him. I took all the photographs. Like I said, I haven't had any correspondence, but the city is requesting additional 30 days at $150 per day after.
But you said you saw the property owner today?
Yes,
On a separate matter?
Lattimore had them today, and I asked for their numbers so I could reach out to them, but they had another cold case similar to theirs as mine today, this morning.
Okay. And you were able to get their number?
Yes, ma'am.
I think, is that the parents who are the property manager? Okay, for the property, okay. And the photographs truthfully and accurately depict the outstanding violations, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the photographs, the code officer's testimony, and the case file to be admitted as evidence as into the record, please.
Okay, you got good service. What was the, I don't think I saw the fence.
Well, the fence wasn't supposed to be there, it was never there. Someone constructed that wood fence by
Oh,
themselves.
that right there? Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm,
yeah, it was
okay.
homemade, the fence.
Homemade.
Yep.
Okay. It's like railings from a banister or something.
Yeah,
like-
absolutely.
okay.
Turn sideways to make the top of the fence.
All right. All right, in 30 days, do you think they can get all this done within 30 days?
Yeah, they can either take it down and replace it. As far as everything else, the cutting and the landscape, yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good, thank you. In case CE 24072220, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file that include the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 94302A4, 9471C, 18106B, 94302A3, 94442C1, and 18106M. And I'll require respondents to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or $150 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Case number 17, CE 240-82557, case address 735 Selkirk Street.
Good morning, Richard Pasmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. I was patrolling my zone and I noticed vehicles were blocking the right-of-way, the sidewalk at this property. So I cited this property on August 20th, 2024 for 94442E, landscaping of swale parkways, specifically grass required in bare dirt areas. 18106B, excessive growth, there's overgrowth of grass and weeds and other flora. 78-1 for the obstruction of the right-of-way, sidewalks blocked on the property. Just wait. I think those are the wrong photos. That's not the initial. No. I think so. Yeah.
That says the 30th, 9:30.
Yeah. And 18106A, clean and sanitary conditions. There's trash and debris on the property. Certified mail was sent out August 20th. In addition, the property and City Hall were both posted on August 26th. All the photos you've been seeing were taken by me, and they truthfully and accurately depict the violations that I observed. I've had no contact from anybody regarding this property, and as of shortly after posting and continuing on, 78-1 has complied. The vehicles are no longer parking over or blocking the sidewalk. All the other violations remain, and they have not been addressed. The city's recommending 21 additional days to comply those violations, or asking for a daily fine of $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, as well as the photographs to be admitted into evidence as the record, please.
Okay, thank you. For the record, in case CE 24082557, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents that are in the case file, which include the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the code enforcement officer's testimony, that the respondents are in violation of sections 18106B, 94442E, and 18106A, and I'll require respondent to comply within 21 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Case number 18, CE 240-82594, case address 4401 Washington Road.
Richard Pasmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. This case was generated from a complaint from one of the neighbors of this property. This is a vacant lot at 4401 Washington Road. The complaint was that this lot is overgrown again and unmaintained. As I researched and investigated, I ended up citing this property as a repeat violation for code case CE 24062190, which was a similar violation in just June of this year. I cited 18106B, excessive growth, 18106A, clean and sanitary conditions, and 2635B for the repeat violations. I cited the property on August 27th, 2024. My inspection and when I first observed the repeat violations was August 26th, 2024. That was in response to the complaint. Certified mail, the notice of violation and notice of hearing was certified mail, was sent out August 27th, 2024. It was signed, received September 3rd, 2024. In addition, the property and City Hall were both posted on August 28th, 2024. The affidavit of posting was completed and is attached to the case. I had contact from one of the property reps who requested a reinspection of the property. I went out and reinspected the property on September 9th, 2024. That's when the violations were complied. And since then, the property has been maintained and kept clean and cut. With all that being said, the violations were first observed August 26th and complied September 9th. The city is recommending that this case be found as a repeat violation of 18106B, 18106A, which would find it in violation for 14 days at a fine of $100 a day for a total of $1,400. All the photos were taken by myself and truthfully and accurately depict the violations and the compliance date. The finding of fact from that previous case is attached in this case. And that's all I have.
Great, awesome, thank you. Did you want to see the previous violation?
Just so the record is clear, that I think you said it was a 24 case, right? You said it was from June?
Yes, June of this year.
Okay.
Okay.
It went to a hearing on July 29th.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, as well as the photographs to be admitted as evidence into the record, please.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that's the previous case. Okay, great. Can I see the posting affidavit? I saw the signed certified mail, but not the posting affidavit. Okay, great. All right, in case CE 2408-2594, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documentation in the case file, which includes the signed certified mail as well as an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in repeat violation through section 2635B of code sections 18106B and 18106A, and that repeat violation occurred from August 26th to September 9th, a total of 14 days at $100 a day. So I'll assess a $1,400 fine, which will not continue to accrue since the violation has been complied.
Case number 19, CE 240-82598, case address 946 McIntosh Street.
Richard Pazmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. I received a complaint about this property and a tattered blue tarp that was on the roof. I inspected the property and cited it on August 27th, 2024. The violations that were cited are 94. After research, I noticed that the original fence that was there was replaced with a different material. So there was a wood fence that was replaced with a metal fence. So when I cited the property, I cited 94-302-A3, fence permits required, and 18103B, conditions of the structure, the exterior walls and roof. The roof had a tattered and worn tarp. Certified mail was sent out August 28th. The property and City Hall were both posted on August 28th as well. The affidavit of posting was completed, notarized, and is attached to this case. I have had contact with the owner's son, who has been communicating and translating for the owners. And shortly after communication, the tarp was removed. So 18103B is complied. And since speaking with the owner's son, they have applied for a fence permit. It is pending approval as of yesterday. And the owner and the city have agreed that additional time is required. That being said, the city is recommending 60 additional days or a fine of $100 a day if that is not achieved.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the case file, the code enforcement officer's testimony, and the photographs to be accepted as evidence into the record, please.
Okay, perfect. And the fence was the white fence?
Yeah, there was a wood and white fence that was replaced with a metal aluminum white fence.
Okay. And 60 days should be more than enough time for them to get through the permit process, right?
Yeah, right now they're going through zoning approval, and they should
Okay.
be good.
Okay. And no finding of fact on the tarp?
No, that was done pretty shortly. They
Okay.
just removed it, and I guess the roof is good to go.
Tarp is, I guess, a loose term. That was remnants of a tarp.
Yeah.
All right, for the record, in case CE 2408-2598, the respondent's not present, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documentation in the case file, which includes an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file and testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of section 94-302-A3, and I'll require respondents to comply with that section within 60 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter.
Thank you.
For the record, case number 20 CE 24082602, case address 812 Handy Avenue has been complied. Case number 21 CE 24082485, case address 1365 11th Street.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. This property was posted on 9/16/2024 along with City Hall. Certified mail was signed on August 19th. The following violations are 74-4C5, cleaning up 1/2 of easement area, has complied. 7471-C, outdoor storage, still out of compliance. 94462, landscape maintenance, out of compliance. 94453, A1B, non-conforming landscaping area, has not complied. 744C3, overgrowth, has complied. 94454I, prohibited tree, has complied. 34102-A, abandoned inoperable vehicle, has complied. 744A3 has not complied. And 94482A, unpaved parking, has complied. And 54262, visibility of right-of-way, has complied. I'm asking for 30 more days or $100 per day, and I have spoke with the property manager. So that is my request. Pictures were taken by myself and verified by myself.
So you spoke with the property manager, you stated?
Yes, ma'am.
And they're in agreement with the 30 days?
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
Okay, and, so, as far as a number, I just want to make sure I have it. There are 4 violations that have not complied?
Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. I'm asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, as well as the photographs to be admitted as evidence into the record, please.
Okay, let me just see. Posting you have. What's the non-conforming landscape areas? The
There was
94?
an invasive tree.
Okay.
Yeah, they removed the invasive ficus tree, rubber tree. Oh, you said the non-conforming, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I think that's, yeah, I was asking about the
That was part
non-conforming.
of the invasive tree, that particular one, but when they removed the tree, they didn't sod the area
Okay.
that the tree came from, and it also was a vehicle parked in the top of the front yard, and they did not sod that and/or,
So it's areas that need landscape material or sodding?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Okay. All right, in case CE 2408-2485, for the record, the respondent is not present. One more thing, Ms. Lester, you said the certified mail was signed for on 8/19. What day?
August 19th.
Right, what day did you send it out?
That's a good question. Can you go to the, let's see what day I sent it out. The
You got the
violation-
hard part, which is you got it signed, but I just want to make sure the record has when that you sent it.
That'd be August. It's in there. Looking for notice of
The
violation.
NOV, there we go, at the bottom. August 9th?
Yep.
Okay,
August 9th.
great, thank you. All right, in that case, I will enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the certified mail having been signed for, as well as the affidavit of posting, which is included in the notice documents that are in the case file, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 94-446-2, 74-4A3, 94-71C, and 94-453A1B, and I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Case number 23, CE 240-82548, case address 807 Handy Avenue.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Property was posted on 9/16/2024, along with City Hall, and these are the following violations. 94-442E, landscaping of swell. 74-4C5, cleaning up 1/2 of center of right-of-way. That has complied. 94-4H7B1, removal of prohibited vehicle, not complied. 94-42C1, landscape area, and that has not complied. I have spoken with the tenant that actually owns the prohibited vehicle, and what he's done, he redesigned this truck. It was a like a F350, which is the largest one of those kind of pickup trucks. But he took the original bed off the truck and put a lift bed on the truck, so that moved it into a commercial vehicle. So at this point in time, the vehicle is actually inoperable, and he's asking for 30 more days to have the vehicle put back to its original state and removed from the yard.
So just so I understand, it can be there with the original truck bed. It can't be
Yes.
there with the modified truck bed that he put on it? Okay.
Correct. And to sod the swell and the open spaces in the yard. So I'm asking for the 30 days that he asked for, or $100 per day. I have not spoke to the owner of the property. Had no contact.
But the tenant has agreed to comply with the violation?
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the case file, the code enforcement officer's testimony, as well as the photographs to be admitted into evidence as the record, please.
Your certified mail was returned, I'm sorry.
And obviously, if you got it returned, you sent it out.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on August 19. The photos that you have are all the photos of the modified truck?
No, some of them of the yard where it needs the siding.
Yeah, but I mean, of all of the trucks, the part that makes it not code compliant is the wood paneling on the truck?
That's actually a lift bed that he put on there.
Okay.
Like a,
But that's the part that's incorrect, is the wood?
Yes,
the
ma'am.
portion that looks wood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. All right, in case CE 2408-2548, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documentation in the case file, which includes an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file, that the respondent's in and as well as the code enforcement officer's testimony, that the respondent's in violation of section 94-442E, 94-487B1, and 94-442C1. I'll require respondents to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Thank you.
Case number 24, case number 24, CE 240-82561, case address 1464 9th Street.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Property was posted on 9/16/2024 along with City Hall in the following violations: 74-4C3 overgrowth, 74-4C5 cleaning up one half of easement to the right of way, 78-62 numbering locations address, 18106A cleaning sanitary conditions, 74-34A1H trash can in public view, 94-71C outdoor storage, and 78-1 obstruction of right-of-way. All violations are remaining. I have spoke with this owner, and he's informed me that he's out of the country at this time, and he was going to be back in the country within the next 60 days. So I said I would ask for 90 days, just to give him some time to get everything wrapped up. And the actual recertified mail was returned to us, and all the pictures were taken by myself and verified by myself.
Thank you. So 90 days is reasonable, and
Yes,
how much money?
100 per day.
$100 per
Yes,
day.
ma'am.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the case file, and the photographs to be admitted as evidence into the record, please.
All right, that's the outdoor storage. Was all that stuff out there?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
quite a bit.
That was just a photo of overgrowth, some of these landscape photos?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was so the numbering location, it looks like there was numbers there?
It needs to be on the structure, not the mailbox.
I'm sorry?
It needs to be on the structure itself
On
and
the
not the
structure, not
mailbox.
the mailbox,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Okay, there's the right of way, okay. right, the only other thing I need to see is the affidavit of posting. Perfect. All right, in case CE 24082561, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 74-4C3, 74-4C5, 78-62, 18106A, 7434A1H, 9471C, and 78-1. And I'll require respondents to comply with all of those code sections within 90 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Thank you.
Special Magistrate, items 25 through 31 have been rescheduled. I don't know if you want to put each individual case on the record as being rescheduled, or it's sufficient to put on the record that cases on agenda 25, items 25 through 31 have been rescheduled.
I'll leave that to the city's discretion, so if you're comfortable with just the item numbers, that's fine.
Yes, that's our preference.
Okay, that's totally fine, thank you.
Is this sufficient as to the record, or does the clerk need to put that on?
If the city's okay with just the agenda items, that's fine for me.
Okay. Sure, you can put it on there.
Just for the record, cases on the agenda on 25 through case 31 have been rescheduled.
Thank you.
All right, and the other matters hearing, that can't begin until 11:30, correct? Okay, so we'll recess for now and reconvene at 11:30. Thank you. you have to give the TV folks, or do you have to give the TV folks the 30-second warning, or are we good? Okay.
West Palm Beach TV, 30 seconds.
All right, good afternoon. I'm going to call back to order the other matters session of the code enforcement hearing for today, October 2nd. My name is Amity Barnard. I'm the special magistrate for today's hearing. The first thing I'm going to do is, if you're here for a code enforcement matter, if you could stand if you're able and raise your right hands. This includes city staff. I'm going to swear everybody in at the same time. So if you're here to testify on any item, thank you. Raise your right hand for me, sir. Thank you. Do you all swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you very much. Quickly about process, when you hear your case called, the city staff, city code officer is to my left at the podium. Come to the podium here on my right. The city will give me a bit of information and introduce the matter, and then when the city is finished, you'll get an opportunity to explain to me why the fines should be reduced. With that, you'll get an order typically as you leave here. If not, as you leave the room, one will be sent to you via mail, a copy of that order. With that, I'll turn it to the city to call its first case.
Case number 32, CE 200101113, case address 415 43rd Street, number 1.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. Case number CE 200101113 was originally cited January 8th of 2020. They were cited for a trash can being placed in front of the view of the public as well as outdoor storage. This went to a special magistrate hearing February 5th, 2020. It was ordered for the fine to start as of March 7th, 2020. That ran for 783 days at $100 a day. For a total of $78,300, and this was complied April 29th of 2022. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting and regular mail that was sent out. This was done under the previous owner of the property, so the city requests a reduction to 15% of the lien, which would be a total of $11,745, excuse me.
Thank you, sir. All right, good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, good morning.
Your name for the record, please?
Mac Ross, attorney for the applicant.
Your counsel for the applicant?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So you've heard what the city has said. Looks like the violation was committed by a prior owner. However, your client, I presume, bought it knowing there was a lien on the property?
Correct.
Okay. What else can you add?
Well, really not much there. It was, just want to emphasize that my client wasn't the violator here, wasn't the person who created the issue, and the property's been in compliance ever since. So, was here a few weeks ago on a similar matter where I represented somebody that took title to a property that a prior owner had caused violations, and I think we were able to reduce the fines down to close to 95% of the actual total. Or 95% off the total. So that's what I would ask for, similar relief here today.
Okay. Let me ask the code officer, how many other cases were there or have there been on this address?
A total of 25.
All those under the prior owner?
For various reasons, yes, ma'am.
And all under the prior owner?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's a lot of code enforcement trouble, though. All right, so the city's at 15%, you're recommending 5%? Okay, do you have that number off the top of your?
I think it was, I had 2,500 for round numbers is what I said, what I have on, I think 97% was like 2,300 and change, but 2,500 was what I came to the table with.
All right, let me ask the code officer, the trash can in public view, that's a pretty, pretty small violation. What was the outdoor storage? Was this a real significant violation?
They didn't list in the notes what exactly it was. It just has it listed as outdoor storage.
We have pictures, perhaps?
You got the case number?
Okay. Those are sufficient. I think I've. Okay. All right, I don't mind reducing the fine. Does the city have a response to the 5%?
The city's response, magistrate, would be to lower it to 10%, which would be 7,830.
Okay. All right, I think I'm gonna meet hopefully in the middle here. These are, while they are violations of the code, the outdoor storage nor the garbage cans were significant in terms of the gravity of the violation. So that's one of the things I can consider. The other thing I can consider is the number of cases. That is a little bit more problematic because it very clearly with 25 code enforcement cases seems like the prior owner, although that wasn't you, was a repeat offender, if you will, in the city's code enforcement process. So I will reduce the fine. I'll reduce it down from $78,300 down to $5,000 payable within 90 days. Given the amount of violations on the property, I understand they were not caused by your client, but that doesn't change the fact that the neighbors who live by the property have to deal with the fact that there were 25 code enforcement cases. So hopefully that's a number that you can work with. It certainly is a significant reduction from the original lien amount. So I believe she'll give you an order right now that reflects that ruling in the
Okay, great.
as
Thank
you
you.
leave. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Case number 33, CE 230-90609, case address 319 Buckingham Road.
This gentleman is also here for addresses 232 Rugby Road and 3020 Vincent Road as well. Would you like to hear them separately, Magistrate?
Yes, let's keep them separate since they're
Okay.
different addresses.
I got you.
Thank
All
you.
right. So starting with case number CE 230-90609. This case was originally cited September 7th of 2023. They were cited for dead trees and vegetation, fence needing repair, and a prohibited tree that was planted on the property that needed to be removed. This went to a special magistrate hearing December 6th of 2023. It was ordered for the fine to start as of February 5th, 2024. This ran for 45 days at $100 a day for a total of $4,500. Service was achieved in this case by way of posting in regular mail. This was the same owner, 2 cases with code enforcement under their ownership. So the city requests a reduction of 25%, which will be $1,125.
Thank you, sir. All right, good morning, sir. Your name for the record?
Good morning, Brad McPherson. I'm the attorney for the owner.
Okay, thank you. All right, so you've heard what the city has said. This was a violation of your client, and there were 2 other cases for this property. Go ahead and give me any testimony or anything you'd like me to hear.
So a brief context, this property and the other 2 for which I'm here this morning are all the same owner.
Okay.
And my explanation is kind of going to be all the same for all 3.
Duly noted, so I
Okay.
won't make you repeat yourself on the other ones.
Okay. So in this owner came and bought several properties in West Palm Beach in around the summer of 2022. He doesn't live here except for in the winter months. He does have landscapers at all the properties. All the properties are about $2 to $3 million properties. They're not dilapidated. They're not uninhabitable. They're very nice properties in the city, sort of in the downtown area just south of here. Though he's not here year-round, I assume something like a tree did die, and maybe the landscapers didn't remove it. And I'm not exactly sure the condition of the fence that was cited, but we're not challenging that those were accurate facts. The tree was probably dead. The fence probably did have an issue. The owner's position is he wasn't here, and the problem is he didn't receive his mail. And I know that's not really an excuse. You're responsible to receive your own mail, but he's a sophisticated guy who would, in a second, hire the people to comply. And part of what I was going to explain with the other properties as well is we've had numerous communications with the city since our law firm was hired and learned of this, and he has paid every fee he's been asked to pay. He's done everything he's been asked to do. He's complied in every way for these properties, which is why we're here today, because we're now in compliance. There were multiple properties involved. So with respect to the dead tree that is now cured and the fence that is now cured, our request is that you reduce the fine as much as possible. He complied on this property and every other as soon as he knew. He just didn't know. We wouldn't be here in a position of liens had he received his mail, attended the hearing, and he would have taken the steps then. Once he learned of it, he then came to us and we have taken care of it. So the maximum reduction of the lien amount is our request.
Okay. So I hear you. I guess what I would ask is that what the code enforcement officer handed me is the current printout, I guess, from this morning from the property appraiser's website, which still lists the address. I guess is 9 Gulfview Road. Is that where your client?
That's where he lives.
Okay, but he's not in Palm Beach for.
Only in a few months in the winter.
Okay, so what I would suggest to you is that he change this address. If this is not where he wants to receive his mail, for purposes of any legal notice, certainly for purposes of code enforcement, because the code enforcement department is required by law to send the notice to the address that's listed on the property appraiser or the tax collector's website. So if this is not the location that he's getting his mail, I would encourage him to change that address with those offices, the correct county offices, so that he gets his mail at the address where he'd prefer to get it. You know, you well know ignorance is no excuse. If I were looking at a property appraiser printout with a different address, like the addressing issue had been corrected, I would be even more sympathetic to your case that the owner has taken proactive steps to ensure that he's receiving legal notice for code enforcement and any other matter that they're sending, because they assume that if you're getting your tax bills and you're paying your tax bills, you're going to get the code enforcement notices as well, and that's again where the law requires the notices to be sent. So I understand he's not here for a good portion of the year, but that doesn't absolve him of the responsibility to keep his properties in compliance with the city's code. So again, like the prior case, I'm certainly amenable to reducing them. I do have to take into consideration there are very specific statutory criteria that I have to consider, one of which is the gravity of the violation, another is the number of cases. So only 2 cases, that's certainly a good thing for your client's position. The gravity of the violation, again, is not, something that amounts to a significant health, safety, welfare issue. So I will reduce this one. I'll reduce it a little bit more than the city's recommendation, just to be consistent with, the nature of the violation and the severity of it. So I'll reduce, in case CE 2309-0609, I'll reduce the fine from $4,500 down to $1,000, payable within 90 days. And now we'll get to the other ones, which seem to be a little bit higher in fine amount.
Case number 36, CE 23070-191, case address 232 Rugby Road.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. For case number CE 230700191, this case was originally cited in July of 2023. They were cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. This went to a special magistrate hearing September 20th of 2023, and it was ordered for the fine to start as of October 21st of 2023. This ran for 103 days at $200 a day for a total of $20,600. This was complied on February 1st of 2024. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting and regular mail as well. Again, same owner, one case with code enforcement under their ownership. So the city requests a reduction to 25%, which would be $5,150.
All right, go ahead and explain to me, I know you said your testimony is similar on all these, but this is a little bit different of a violation. This is really just a paperwork exercise. So is there anything else on this case particularly that you'd like to tell me?
Yes, in this one, along with the other address, exact same violation, exact same time period, 2 properties in West Palm Beach. The fine amount is almost exactly the same, just over $20,000. Again, these are part of the kind of accumulation of properties that this owner bought all at the same time. He put in place landscapers and property managers, etc. He then had a realtor advising him, and I guess she listed the properties for rent without obtaining the proper permit and certificate of use. The explanation I received is the same exact mail explanation, that he didn't receive the notice, hence it went to a hearing and it went to a lien that accrued for a long period of time. This is not an owner who it doesn't have the wherewithal to pay people to do the right thing. He just didn't know that he needed that license when the realtor listed it. And so what's I think most important here is the property was never actually rented. No tenant occupied either one of these properties. It was merely listed, and now $20,000 in fines. Once he learned of the problem, he did take steps to submit a rental application. I believe his realtor had some breakdown in communications with the city. She eventually went into the hospital, and it was, the perfect storm of problems. But again, once he learned of it, he hired our law firm, and we took the steps to cure by first submitting an affidavit of non-rental so we could stop the accrual of the fines. And then we went through the inspection process because, as you know, every property in the city that he owns has to be inspected. It's not limited to these. So it took a little time to get to today, but as you mentioned, it's an administrative function. There was no danger to nobody rented it. The public health and safety was not an issue here. It was never occupied by a tenant. It's merely something like a $130 application fee for a rental license. So for these reasons, we ask for a significant reduction, much more than down to 25%.
So he bought the property, but the intent was not to rent it? What was the property going to be used for?
Well, it appears to me he bought it and then started to rent it 6-8 months later. I think he wanted to fix some of them up first.
Okay.
And then he rented them.
So it's rented now?
No, not rented. We then submitted an affidavit of non-rental to stop the fines. Going through this process, he just paused and said, wait, let's get through the process first.
But they were bought as investment properties to rent. It just was some amount of work had to be done before you got through the rental process.
Right.
Okay. And by virtue of the listing of the property for rent.
Right.
And certainly by virtue of submitting an application, which would be an admission that you're renting the property. Here you are, or here he was at code enforcement.
I imagine after today, he'll pursue those rental applications further.
Okay. And the 3 sites in the city are the only that he owns? Just the 3 properties?
No, he owns, I want to say 9.
Okay. And hopefully all the rest of those are, he now knows the drill on rental licenses and COUs?
Oh, yes, he's well aware.
Okay. All right. Anything further on this one, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anything further from the city on this one?
No, ma'am.
All right. In case CE 230701911, I will reduce, after having heard from the respondent and considering the number of cases on this property, as well as the nature of the violation, I'll reduce the previous fine amount from $20,600 down to $2,000 payable within 90 days.
Case number 37, CE 2307019, case address 3020 Vincent Road.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. For case number CE 2307019, this case went to a special, was originally cited July 12th, 2023. Again, this case was also cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. This went to a special magistrate hearing September 20th, 2023. It was ordered for the fine to start as of October 23rd, 2023. This ran for 101 days at $200 a day for a total of $20,200. This was complied on February 1st, 2024. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting as well as certified mail. Same owner, 2 cases under their ownership. So the city requests 25% of the lien, which is $5,050.
Thank you. And what were the 2 cases? Do you know offhand?
The other one was for basically outdoor storage, building material, wood.
Okay, so nothing, not a similar
correct
violation. Okay. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Same owner, same explanation.
Same explanation.
Request, although he's paying now $3,000 from the prior, 2 and 1 from the prior cases. I ask maybe that this one's reduced to $1,000.
So I applaud your attempt. I'm going to be consistent in my ruling, given this is the exact same violation. One additional case, but it seems like your client has taken the right steps. So I'm giving you significant reductions. In this case, I'm going to reduce nearly identical to what I did in the prior case. In CE 2307019, I'll reduce the lien amount from $20,200 down to $2,000 payable within 90 days. With all due respect, I appreciate the fact that your client has taken the steps to get into compliance. Now he knows better, so hopefully I don't see you back in code enforcement. I again would encourage you to investigate the property appraiser and tax collector's website and perhaps change that address if that's not where he wants the mail to go. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Case number 35, CE 220804885, case address 627 Bunker Road.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. Case number CE 220804885 was originally cited August 26th of 2022. They were cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. This went to special magistrate hearing on October 5th, 2022, and there was ordered for the fine to start as of November 7th, 2022. That ran for 511 days at $200 a day for a total of $102,200, and this was complied April 1st, 2024. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting and regular mail, This was done under the same owner, 1 case with code enforcement under their ownership. So the city requests a reduction to 5%, which would be $5,110.
And what was the fine amount you said?
102,200.
No, with the daily fine amount, I'm sorry.
The daily fine was $200 a day,
200, okay, thank you. All right, your name, sir?
Yes, James Chaffee. I'm the attorney for the owner.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. So you've heard what the city has said relative to the violation and their recommendation. What's your side of the story?
My client is Preschool Management 2, Inc., which purchased the property in November of 2022. That's around the period of time when the lien was actually recorded after my client purchased the property on December 7th. So my client was never aware of this lien that had been recorded, and only became aware of it recently when he put the property on the market for sale, and that's when he was advised that there was a lien against the property. He immediately remedied the, obtained the application, got the certificate of use, and he's in compliance. So we're requesting the lien reduction because of that, Your Honor.
Okay. And you've heard the city's recommendation is to reduce the fine down from $102,200 down to $5,110.
Yes.
What's your response to that number?
We would request that it be reduced to $1,000, Your Honor.
Okay. Does the city have a copy of the recorded lien, or do you know when it was recorded?
I have one, Your Honor.
You do have one?
Should be in the case file.
Can you show it to the city first, to the city attorney? I guess give it to the code officer and he'll give it to the attorney first. That's okay. Just, I would ask you to come back. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just so the microphone picks you up so that everybody can hear you. You have a copy of the deed,
I
you
have a
said?
copy of the deed if you would like that also.
No, I think that's good. I just want to see the lien. Okay. Okay. So you really did get caught in the middle of the hearing and the
Yes,
recording.
ma'am.
Okay. Does the city have any response to the proposed amount?
Hi, Mark Joyce. I think that we took that into account already, and that's why we didn't ask for 25%. So 5% is extremely generous.
Okay.
And that's where I would stay at.
Okay, thank you. I just always want to give everyone an opportunity to respond after they've heard new information. All right, let me ask the code officer to give the gentleman back his documents. Thank you for letting me see those.
Thank you.
All right, anything further, sir, that you'd like me to hear?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, in case CE 22080485, I'm going to reduce the fine amount, previous fine amount down from $102,200. Given the type of violation and given the scenario where the current owner purchased the property in between the time of the hearing and when the order was recorded, and the fact that they didn't have any knowledge of the violation when they purchased the property, and given that the fact that this is a rental and COU matter, I'm going to reduce the fine down to $2,500 payable within 90 days.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And she'll give you an order.
Our last case on the agenda, case number 34, CE 08050305, case address 410 North Tamarind Avenue.
They need to be sworn in, Magistrate.
Thank you. You all were not sworn in?
No.
Okay, very good. Can you raise your right? Thank you, code officer. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you both swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. Case number CE 08050305 was originally cited in May of 2008. They were cited for an inspection that failed due to violations of the exterior doors being weather tight and the windows as well. Address characters needed on the property, outside storage, and exterior paint needed on the structure. This went to a special magistrate hearing July 25th of 2008. It was ordered for the fine to start as of November 24th, 2008. And this ran for 452 days at $175 a day for a total of $79,100. And this was complied on February 19th of 2010. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting and regular mail. This was done under the same owner, 10 cases with code enforcement under their ownership. So the city requests a reduction to 25%, which would be $19,775.
Thank you. Okay, your names for the record?
My name's Carlton Darville.
And your name, ma'am?
Georgette Laguerre.
And what is your relation? Your last name is not Jones, so what's your relation?
So we're real estate investors. So we're buying a property from the family. So we came onto the scene 2 years ago. We met with Mr. Jones, who is the sole heir of the estate. And at that time, I don't know if you guys are aware or not, but it was going through a forfeiture RICO with the previous police chief. So we wanted to buy the property. We couldn't because the city of West Palm planned on seizing the property. Talking through my attorney and you guys, city attorneys, it took about a year to get permission to actually get the lien removed so that we could buy the property. So we took over, finally got everything in compliance, which was a nightmare, dealing with drug dealers, drug fiends, break-ins, house fire, calls from the city of West Palm Beach Police Department, countless nights. It was definitely a battle, and it took a lot of time and manpower. So we're just here on behalf of the family to see what you could do as far as reducing it as much as possible. The seller lives in Ocala, so he's elderly. He has no means to do what we did to get the property up to date in compliance.
So you're a prospective purchaser. You haven't purchased it. You're not purchasing it until.
Well, once this is done, we're gonna purchase it. Yeah.
Okay. And this is a multi-family. This is a big building.
Correct.
Multi-family building.
4 units.
Okay, apartments or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, multi-family, less than 5. So the tricky spot for me today is that there are 10 code enforcement cases. So I hear what you're saying, but it appears that the current owner has a history with the code enforcement department.
Well, here's the problem, and I got a little of the story from him. Him and his brother inherited that property free and clear from his father.
Mm-hmm.
The brother that passed away, once he passed away, that's when all the gang and drug activity started to happen, because his wife, I can't think, the 4th Street gang, they were running that whole Tarrant area. So they were killing people in that building, on that street, and they got busted a few years ago, and he had nothing to do with any of that activity. And his brother was long gone. So the wife, the widow, just rampantly let things happen, and that's when I came along, luckily.
Okay. And on the 10 cases, are they all older cases? Anything new?
There's only one new case from 2017, I guess you call it new. That was for business certificate of use and rental license.
Okay. So in recent years, it's been pretty much compliant?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. All right, anything else you'd like me to hear?
I mean, other than that, I feel like we do this on a regular. I mean, this ain't my first rodeo. I just like to say I want to thank Ms. Monique and Mr. Williams for all their due diligence. I don't know your affiliation or connection to human resources in that department, but I feel like it's a little undermanned because I do this on a regular. I've done this with other cities and towns and municipalities. This process was a little rocky, but I feel it's no due cause to these people working there. They're working as hard as they can, but I feel like some more manpower and resources are needed to make the process a little smoother, especially now that we have to go through this website that no one knows how to operate correctly. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So I appreciate that. Just so you're clear, I have no affiliation with the city. The only thing I do for the city is I'm a neutral special magistrate, so I don't work for the city. And there's very good reason for that, because if I worked for the city, that would put you in a tough spot. So,
Oh, yeah,
but the
conflict.
city does hear you. So I think they'll take that under advisement. I'm certainly willing to reduce this. I am sensitive to the fact that there was a lot of code enforcement trouble on this site. I think that affects everybody in the city, certainly the neighbors, the surrounding properties. So I'm going to consider that. I'm also going to consider that the violations don't appear to have been repeats.
I don't know if
Go
can
ahead.
I interrupt you quickly? Here's the problem that I had. The property was not in the best part of town. So let's say Mr. Williams said, hey man, you need to go board up the doors, cut the grass, and remove the trash. I live in Martin County. I don't live in Palm Beach. And my property manager, quote unquote, he only can do so much. I only can do so much. So if I'm gone for 2 weeks, I come back and we got 10 people squatting in the property. They're living there. It was a battle to maintain the property on a daily basis because it was just known as a vacant building. And a lot of people who are in our shoes deal with that. It's just, you know, we try to do our best to keep the property up to code, but when people know there's an empty building, someone tried to burn down the building, it was crazy. So
People will come up with all kinds of things these days.
Yes.
I'm sympathetic to that, but I'm also sympathetic to the fact that the fine ran for 452 days. So that's not people were out of town for a couple weeks. That's over a year. So that's a significant time. But I am going to reduce the fine. I'm going to reduce it a little bit further than the city wanted. Also taking into consideration that this is a rental property, so it's not, you know, it's a business decision, right? To keep property and keep it rented and keep making money off of it if that's what was happening for a time. So I'll reduce the fine in case CE 08050305 down to from $79,100 down to $15,000 payable within 90 days. So I think
Thank you so
that
much,
shaves
miss.
off quite a lot of the fine. Hopefully that puts you in a position where you can carry the torch forward, and I hope the property remains in compliance while you all are involved, okay?
yes, most certainly.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. And that looks like the end of the agenda, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, I will adjourn the hearing at 12:16. Thank you.